Hello everyone, my name is Brooke Adams, and today I will be talking about Coke's 2014 Share a Coke global campaign and Pepsi's controversial 2017 Live for Now campaign. We've all heard the infamous question, Coke or Pepsi? This has been a debate for years now, but today I really wanted to put these two brands head to head and compare two of their ads that I think are pretty similar. There's a lot that can be learned from both of these campaigns that can help someone when making a global campaign in the future. I think you should keep both of these campaigns in mind when creating one yourself because there's so much to learn from them. And I've had a little bit of experience with marketing myself in the past, so I feel as if I'm able to speak about this topic. And I've also learned a lot from this class that has helped me evaluate both of these campaigns. But before we get started, I want to go over what I will be covering in this presentation. So the first thing that I wanted to talk about today was the marketing mixes of both of these campaigns. I think we need to understand how similar these campaigns are on a base level to understand how we can really compare these two campaigns. And then second, I want to talk about Coke's Share a Coke campaign. And then I'm going to move on to the Live for Now campaign by Pepsi. And then finally, I'm going to explain the effects of both of these ads and which one was more effective from a marketing standpoint. So the first thing that I wanted to talk about today was the marketing mix. So before we get into the logistics of both of these ads, let's talk about the marketing mixes of both of these campaigns. Coke and Pepsi are soft drinks. Coke is a little bit more expensive than Pepsi. It's a 20-ounce bottle for $1.99. The Share a Coke campaign was promoted on TV, social media, billboards, store displays, and many other places that I'm probably completely overlooking. And this product could be found in any store around the globe. Now, Pepsi, on the other hand, for a 20-ounce bottle, it's $1.69. And the specific ad that I'm talking about that featured Kendall Jenner that aired in 2017 only made it to the social media aspect of sharing. The campaign was pulled a day after it launched, but I'll get into why that happened later. So it really only made social media level of advertisement. And this product could also be found in any store across the globe. Of both of these. So before we get into the logistics of both of these. So now that I've established the marketing mixes of both of these campaigns, let's talk about Coke's campaign specifically. The Share a Coke campaign launched in 2014 in the U.S., and Coke swapped out their logo for 250 of the most popular names, and has since branched out to include over 1,000 names. It even includes alternate options, like shown in the picture, bestie, mate, dude, other things like that. So even if your name isn't specifically on a bottle, you're still kind of included in this campaign. It even has song lyrics now and a ton of other options that I could keep going on and on about. In most people's opinions, this campaign worked so well because it had a great call to action to share a Coke with loved ones or even complete strangers. Consumers were urged to purchase bottles with their own and loved ones' names on them. It connected consumers on a personal level. I mean, you can't get much more personal than having your own name on a Coke bottle. Coke even had its own hashtag for the campaign, hashtag Share a Coke, and it urged consumers to share their bottles on social media and kind of help it spread rapidly like it did. Even though the advertisements were geared more towards a younger audience, it truly did not miss any demographic. When it came to customers, I thought it was extremely effective, and an important component in marketing today is social media, so being able to create a social media aspect of your campaign is vital, and Coke did just that with ease. This is easily one of the greatest and most thought-out campaigns ever. So now that I've established the marketing mixes of both of these campaigns, so now that we talked a little bit about Coke's campaign, let's talk about Pepsi's now. Pepsi launched their ad in 2017 that featured Kendall Jenner from the Live for Now campaign. This ad can be considered as one of the most unsuccessful in the past few years. They created a short film of sorts that promoted their new product under the new Live for Now campaign. I'm going to read a description of this ad from a New York Times article because I'm pretty terrible at describing things. So here we go. The ad posted to YouTube shows attractive young people holding milquetoast signs with nonspecific pleas like "join the conversation." The protesters are uniformly smiling, laughing, clapping, hugging, and high-fiving. In this ad's climactic scene, a police officer accepts a can of Pepsi from Kendall Jenner, setting off approval from the protesters and an appreciative grin from the officer. So, what exactly went wrong with this? I mean, the ad had all of the right elements. It had a celebrity, it had kind of an emotional message behind it, but Pepsi went about it all wrong. This ad caused a huge backlash, so much in fact that it got pulled the day after it launched. This ad launched in the height of police brutality marches, and I understand what Pepsi was trying to do. It was trying to use a relevant issue to pull at the consumer's heartstrings, but in my opinion, and in most other people's opinions, they went about it all wrong. A lot of people were upset because it portrayed protests as fun and trendy things to do, when in reality it is truly the exact opposite. A lot more could be said about how this ad was considered tone deaf, but I'll leave it at that so I don't bore you with the details of that. Much like Coke's ad, it was targeted towards a younger demographic, but in the process, Pepsi ended up completely missing pretty much everyone with this ad. It really rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. And even though Pepsi made a comeback in sales after that ad, they are still affected to this day by that ad. Millennials' purchase consideration of Pepsi has taken a major dip in recent years, especially after this ad aired. This is proved to be a not effective ad just by the backlash alone that they received over it. Their sales dipped shortly after this ad launched, but they somehow made a comeback the following football season, which is very uncommon to see a company bounce back that fast after a scandal of this sort. But surprisingly, they were able to. So now that we talked a little bit about Coke's campaign, let's talk about Pepsi's now. So now that I've gotten that out of the way, let's really compare the both of these ads and determine which one was more effective, even though the answer might seem pretty obvious. Coke and Pepsi have been battling for years now to come out on top, and when you compare these two ads, it's pretty obvious that Coke wins. And before people say that this is unfair to compare these two ads, let me explain why I wanted to compare these ads in the beginning. I felt as if they were kind of going for the same purpose. They both wanted to promote globally uniting messages. One was just going for a more political message than the other. I felt as Coke kept it pretty simple. Share Coke with one another, spread joy, that kind of thing. And they didn't try to act as if that was going to solve the world's problems. With Pepsi's ad, I feel like they went a little bit too big. And by a little, I mean a lot. They tried to take a uniting approach to two opposites, police and protesters. And here's the simple thing that lies within Pepsi's ad that a lot of people kind of latched onto. They tried to act as if a can of soda was going to create world peace in this ad, and which we all know that would really never happen in real life. Both ads were able to create social media buzz. Coke's was just a lot more positive than Pepsi's. So Coke was able to create a good social media buzz and reached a massive demographic in the process. It increased Coke's sales after a long trend of decreasing sales, which we've already acknowledged what happened to Pepsi's sales after their ad. So now that I've gotten that out of the way, let's really compare the both of these ads and determine which one was more effective, even though the answer might seem pretty obvious. Coke and Pepsi have been battling. So to review my main points, I first discussed the marketing mixes of both Coke and Pepsi's ads. And then I talked a little bit about the Share Coke ad. And then I talked about the 2017 Live for Now ad. And finally, I explained why Coke's ad was more effective in its approach than Pepsi was. And I think the moral of this story is to avoid making a huge statement with your campaigns, especially during a divisive time like we were in 2017. Yes, making a statement can be successfully done, but I feel like it has to be timed right, and it has to have the right tone to it. Sometimes I just think it's better to not make a statement at all than running the risk of it going the wrong way like Pepsi's did. So yeah. Are there any questions? If so, you can reach me at adamsnb3@appstate.edu, or you can reply to my forum post of this presentation. I just want to thank you guys for your time and attention. For years